Listen up, because what went down at the World Series had jaws dropping and Twitter on fire. Picture this, the one and only Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Yes, the same couple who built their whole new brand on privacy, waltzing right into the most televised, crowd-packed event in America like it was their personal comeback tour. Oh, the irony! The same people who sued newspapers and lectured the world about the trauma of flashing cameras suddenly decided that the best place to reemerge was behind home plate at the World Series. You couldn't make this up. Los Angeles was buzzing. The stadium was a glittering sea of flashlights, hot dogs, and baseball fever. It was Game 4, the night when every lens in the country was pointed at the diamond. And there they were, not hiding in a private box, not tucked in some VIP suite. No. Harry and Meghan went front row, smack in the middle of the action, right where every broadcast camera would land again and again. Matching Dodger blue outfits like they'd just coordinated with a stylist for America's favorite couple night out. The crowd took notice immediately. Every few minutes, the camera cut back to them, smiles polished, outfits perfect, like they were filming their own docuseries sequel, Harry and Meghan, the ball game edition. And guess who was sitting right behind them? None other than Sandy Koufax, baseball royalty himself, and Magic Johnson, literal LA legend, Lakers king, billionaire businessman, symbol of true earned fame. These two men built their reputations over decades, and there, sitting in front of them, were two self-declared modern royals, one whose claim to fame was losing to his brother in polo, and the other a former actress who used to cheer for the Toronto Blue Jays but was suddenly Dodger blue for life. It was a picture of Hollywood hierarchy, behind them, legacy, in front, image. And the crowd could feel that imbalance immediately. LA isn't fooled easily. This is the city that can smell authenticity a mile away. They know the difference between earned applause and borrowed spotlight. Then came the moment that started the whispers. Every time the Jumbotron found Meghan, she was ready, smiling, glowing, chin tilted perfectly for the light, not a hair out of place. She waved, but not at anyone specific, just scanning, almost hunting, for the next lens, like a heat-seeking missile that locked onto attention. Harry? Oh, Harry looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him. Shoulders tight, smile forced, hands clasped, like he was bracing for turbulence. The man looked like he'd rather be back in a war zone than on the big screen again. By the third inning, even the crowd started catching on. The whispers turned to laughter. People began saying, they're not here for the game, they're here for the cameras. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Every smile seemed rehearsed, every head tilt pre-planned. Then, boom, the moment everyone will remember. The Jumbotron flickered. The crowd's chatter went silent for half a heartbeat. And then it happened. Harry and Meghan's faces filled the screen. At first, a ripple of gasps. Then, a sound no celebrity ever wants to hear. Boo! It rolled through the stadium like a wave. Not playful, not teasing, it was cold, real, and sharp. Some fans said it was shock, others called it brutal. Either way, it was clear Los Angeles had spoken. There they were, the prince and princess of privacy, frozen like deer in headlights, smiles evaporating. Meghan tried to pull off that everything's fine grin, the one she used on red carpets, but it didn't land. Harry's face twisted into something between confusion and embarrassment. The tension was thick enough to cut with a bat. Even the players could feel it. The energy in the stadium just shifted. It wasn't hatred, it was fatigue. People were simply done with the performance. The crowd wasn't booing two people, they were booing an act. The endless PR, the constant image building. The message was loud and clear. We see through it now. And just like that, their fun night out turned into a PR disaster live on national television. You could almost hear the frantic phone calls that must have happened afterward. Because, let's face it, this wasn't random. Rumor has it their PR team had planned this appearance for weeks. It was supposed to be a soft re-entry into American pop culture, a casual, look, we're just like you, date night. Instead, it exploded in their faces. Every smile came off as strategy. Every wave looked like an ad campaign. Viewers didn't see warmth. They saw calculation. And Harry, poor Harry, he just sat there, hands clasped, smile fading more with every inning. He looked like a man realizing in real time that maybe the dream he chased in California wasn't freedom, it was just another big spotlight, brighter and harsher than before. Meghan, meanwhile, kept her composure, that trademark Hollywood confidence. If she was embarrassed, she hid it behind charm and camera awareness that could rival any A-lister. Then came the final sting of poetic irony: the Dodgers lost. Within hours, social media lit up with memes blaming the Sussex curse. Comments like, they should have stayed home, Blue Jays win, coincidence? I think not, and even baseball couldn't survive that energy. It was brutal, but funny in that cruelly accurate way only the internet can deliver. By morning, entertainment shows were calling it a visibility misfire. PR analysts chimed in, saying the couple's brand was entering fatigue mode. One industry insider summed it up best: they went to look relevant, they left looking desperate. And that's the sad truth, because beneath the glamour, the perfect smiles, and the endless reinvention, there's this growing sense that the public isn't buying the act anymore. The Harry and Meghan story, once romantic, rebellious, and full of promise, now feels like reruns. Every appearance more predictable, every headline more scripted. Think about it. This is the couple who fled the palace to find peace. Yet here they are, orchestrating appearances, chasing cameras, trying to craft the perfect American fairy tale. But in the land of Hollywood, the crowd is fickle, and sympathy doesn't last forever. One wrong move, one bad reaction, and suddenly, you're yesterday's news. And that's exactly what happened at Dodger Stadium. In that one moment, under the bright lights and echoing boos, Harry and Meghan's glossy image cracked just enough for the world to see what's behind it. Two people still chasing relevance in a world that's moved on. The cruel part? In Hollywood, silence is deadly. And that night, the loudest thing wasn't the cheers or the crack of the bat, it was the absence of applause when their faces appeared. That haunting, indifferent silence said more than any tabloid headline ever could. Because this wasn't about baseball. It wasn't even about fame. It was about validation. The royal couple who once walked away from titles and tradition are now fighting for attention in a city where everyone's famous and nobody cares. Harry, the soldier who once stood for service, now standing for optics. Meghan, the actress who once played a role, now living one permanently. It's tragic in a way, two people who wanted to write their own story but somehow ended up trapped in the sequel they never intended to film. As the stadium lights dimmed and the crowd filed out, one thing was clear. They didn't just lose the crowd, they might have lost the plot. And somewhere back in Montecito, in that picture-perfect mansion, another PR meeting was probably already happening. Another strategy adjustment, another image recalibration. Because that's the cycle now. The endless performance, the next move, the next story. The saddest part? For two people who once said they wanted a life away from the spotlight, the truth is painfully clear. They can't live without it anymore. So maybe the real headline that night wasn't Harry and Meghan booed at World Series. Maybe it was something simpler, sadder, and far more human. The spotlight doesn't forgive, and it never forgets.